I have a bone to pick with the subject of today's video, Al Goshman. If you don't know Al Goshman, then you really probably have seen a woman naked. But Al Goshman is the inventor of sponge balls, the bane of my existence as a full-time virgin. I've made several videos talking about how terrible sponge balls are, and many magicians have argued with me, even though they're all wrong. I'm telling you, there are objectively better things that you could do that don't involve you reaching into your pocket and pulling out sponge balls. Think about what you're saying. But alas, that's not the purpose of today's video. Today, we're going to be studying Al Goshman's act. In this case, his coins under salt shaker, which is a modern classic of magic. Even if you haven't heard of it, well, it's something you should definitely watch before watching this video. I'll leave the link down below, along with the link to the PigCake Magic Academy, the home of over 1,500 videos going over card stuff, coin stuff, everything you need to become the best magician. Not the best person, but the best magician. And I'm always uploading new content. I uploaded a video today.
Girls, would you please come in a little closer? Now, that's fine. A little closer. Come close because you're more my style anyway. Now, my name's Albert. What's yours?
Judy.
Judy!
Hello.
Judy, I'm going to magish for you. And you too.
Honestly, he's actually selling the other one a little bit short. I don't know if I'm hornier for Judy or I am the other one, but Al Goshman obviously has some affinity towards Judy. Now, this is his classic introduction line, which is, I'm going to magish for you. It's why he looks directly at the camera when he says it, because it's almost his trademark. This is a lesson in and of itself because it's very important for marketing-wise. If you're a magician and you're trying to stand out in a sea of other magicians, well, how else are you going to stand out and make yourself different? One way is by coming up with a clever term. In this case, Al Goshman came up with magish. It's definitely cutesy and it's indicative of his overall performance personality.
And I have here a little purse, Judy. That's a pocketbook. Now, it's hard to believe that that's a pocketbook. It's called a Las Vegas style. But I wouldn't joke with you for the world. Honestly, I wouldn't joke with you for the world. But you see, Judy, it's heads, and it's tails. You know what the real problem is? The middle. What's your name?
Nancy.
Nancy. Nancy, say go.
Go.
Gone.
While Al Goshman is also known for his sponge balls, he happens to be a master of misdirection, as you could see from this initial production. While now it's very hack and camp to produce a coin or anything from an empty frame of a purse, at the time it was revolutionary, and Goshman was certainly one of the pioneers of inventing and innovating on this surreal front. Another thing to note here from this very introduction is his classic palm vanish. His vanish is one of the ones that's studied even to this day because his hands don't come together. However, you could swear that you see the coin go from one hand to the other. As you're going to see in a moment here, after he produces both coins, he individually makes them disappear. The first one and second one are classic palm vanishes. We get to see a very slow motion variation of this right here in a moment where he's going to take the coin and let it fall from the fingertips to classic palm position. And I want you to notice that the hands don't touch. Typically, when it comes to a false transfer, the hands touch. Here, he just simply seems to toss the coin from one hand to the other as he takes the opportunity to move the coin purse, and he immediately shows the coin to have disappeared. He's going to do the exact same thing with the other participant, focusing on her and taking advantage of placing the coin backwards and forwards in his hands. Here, he's also going to use the cap subtlety, which is a technique used where you apparently show your hand to be empty, even though a coin is in classic palm, and these two vanishes become the catalyst for the remainder of the effect.
Judy, do you remember there were 250 cents?
Definitely.
Do you have them?
Not me.
Say maybe.
Maybe.
That's a better answer. Would you like to know where I snuck the first one?
Oh, yeah.
The first one's under the pepper shaker. The first one's under the pepper shaker. Show them, please. Show them. Thank you. Don't laugh. You never get a break. Never. Nancy, how can you get a break when the second one is back here in the pocketbook?
A couple things to note here is that this act is clearly one that is extraordinarily rehearsed. He is solid on all the lines, he's solid on all the delivery, and that's because he claims that in his career he's performed this over 60,000 times, which I believe. Pay close attention to where he loads the salt shaker, actually in this case the pepper shaker, again under the misdirection of drawing all the attention to the salt shaker. So right now at this point he's just going to simply grab that pepper shaker and then put the coin underneath as he draws attention to the coin purse and the salt shaker.
Let's try it again. Would you say go?
Go.
Gone.
Tell me that last vanish isn't absolutely perfect. It looks exactly like he's taking the coin and dropping it from one hand to the other. Look at that. Perfect illusion, and yet it's retained in the right hand.
Nancy, it's not here. It's not here, and that's the first one.
Oh, no.
Yes, dear. Show 'em.
Another wonderful technique you can see Goshman using there when it comes to the revelation is having the participant draw the conclusion themselves. In this case, you're getting 2 moments of magic. You're getting them realizing where the actual object is, and then you get that revelation.
Nancy, you didn't get anything. Nothing. Oh, that's terrible. Hold this for me. You waited too long. See, Nancy, when you weren't looking, I put them both in the pocketbook. Boy, that's confusing. Let's start all over. My name's Albert. What's yours?
Judy.
Judy!
Hi.
I'm going to magish for you again. Nancy, would you say go?
Go.
Say please.
Please.
Please go.
Please go.
It's gone. You see, it's not here. It's not here.
It's
No.
not there.
And it's not here.
No.
And that's the first one.
Oh, no, not again.
Yes, dear. They said that I was working a little too quick.
Now, even if you never perform this routine, you could definitely get a lot from learning the techniques that Al Goshman employs for misdirection. And especially if you're going to perform something like card under box, which is where a card repeatedly appears underneath a box, even though it's happened multiple times and the participant knows exactly where the card's going to end up, it still ends up underneath the box. His attention to where he wants the participants to focus based on his eye contact, based on where he's putting his energy, is just a masterclass in and of itself, and you could see this where that coin ends up exactly in the same place multiple times.
And they wondered, could you put this one here that way, and then I'll hide one on this side. So now there's one under each. Together, girls. Together, girls. Thank you.
Oh, God.
Nancy. That's a lovely name. Hold that for me, Nancy. You wait too long. Oh, pardon me. Excuse me, dear. It doesn't sprinkle. It doesn't sprinkle. It just makes you nervous. Now, you know, I've got a funny nickname.
What?
What is it?
What is it?
They call me Two-Purse Albert. See, they used to call me worse, much worse, but now they call me Two-Purse.
Another thing to note here is Al Goshman's very charming personality. He has almost his very Jewy, nasally voice, which is hysterical in and of itself. However, you can't argue his charm. His charm is what drives this routine and what allows the participants to become even more surprised, especially because of his laid-back attitude, his cheesy, campy jokes, and their refusal to believe that this man is capable of sneaking these coins underneath these salt shakers and pepper shakers that are directly underneath their noses. One thing to note as well is that he uses this as a running gag throughout his entire act. Now here, it's just going to be the coins underneath the salt shakers and some productions of other coins, but in his actual act, he keeps going back to producing those coins from underneath those salt and pepper shakers.
Now, would you do me a tiny favor if I asked nicely?
Sure.
It's very simple. Just say, please.
Please.
Show them.
Show me.
Show them. Show them.
Oh, not again.
As with our previous videos on people like Tommy Wonder that are equal masters of misdirection, or as he likes to call it, direction of attention, it's the exact same thing here where Al Goshman takes advantage of the offbeat, that moment where the participant's attention span is diminished because they're too busy reacting to the effect that just happened. And you could see he does this perfectly with the second production of the coin.
Put the shaker in closer, and you put yours in closer, because
Already?
sorry about that. It's your fault. You didn't say please. If you say please, I'll do it.
Please.
I did it.
Oh, God.
Both timing and conditioning are crucial to an effect like this, where the repetition is where the magic takes place. In this case, the repetition of the coin appearing underneath that pepper shaker, despite her seeing it constantly and having it directly underneath her nose. From the very beginning, he's established that he's touching all these props constantly, so it's not out of place when he moves one.
Now let me get these out of here because they're bothering me. See, there we are.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. These are matzo balls.
Where's the soup?
The soup. Now, one is larger than the other. And they say that one is always larger than the other. Yes, dear. Hold this one tight, tight, tight. Now say go.
Go.
Mine's gone. Yours is gone?
It is?
It isn't? Slowly. Oh, you got to move it. Oh, my. So then, well, here's.
You wouldn't think that the man that literally died because he inhaled too many of the fumes from his factory producing sponge balls wouldn't use sponge balls in his act, did you? Well, of course, Al Goshman is going to use sponge balls, and yet still, as I mentioned earlier, he's going to go back to the motif of the coins having appeared underneath both the salt and pepper shaker constantly. Callbacks in magic are very, very powerful, and if you find a way to establish them in your act, you're going to have something that is a running gag, and you could even conclude your show with going back to that callback and ending it that way.
Here's 2 for thee. See here? 2 for thee. And 1 for me. And like a mirage that shimmers in the desert's dust. Slowly, because you've got 3.
Oh, my God. I don't have any. Don't look at me.
Wait, you didn't say please.
Oh,
Say it.
please.
I did it. I did it.
Now, I like to give magicians shit for using sponge balls because they're unnatural objects. However, the truth of the matter, as much as it pains me to admit it, is that these are established props if you are a magician. If you are performing professionally and you are hired by an organization to perform magic, props like these are almost expected. They're understanding that you're a performer and you're going to have weird things on you like coin purses or coins, so it's okay. However, if you take out a sponge ball at the bar on a date and I see this, you're gonna get Goldberg speared through the earth. What a beautiful sequence and definitely a product of its time. Newspapers now are pretty much gone. I miss the ability to go to a Denny's, smoke a cigarette in the smoking section, have a coffee, and read the paper. Unfortunately, now it's pretty much just arguing with liberals on Twitter. My goodness, what a life. However, here notice the juxtaposition of how he performed in the beginning of the set and how he performed now. He immediately put on some music and he didn't say a word, and yet he's able to convey the effect with his actions. The first one is astonishing. Then he continues on, increasingly more fair, and every card appears directly underneath this piece of newspaper. These moments where you're not saying a word and yet there's music playing and you're doing something really reminds me of Darren Brown in his Something Wicked This Way Comes act, which is my favorite act of all time, where he goes from being this yappy performer, this mentalist, and then he suddenly stops, he puts on this moody music, and then he drives a nail through his face, doing the classic human blockhead routine. While that change could be jarring, in this case and in the previously mentioned one, you could see that he does it masterfully. Their attention is there on the newspaper. Obviously, it's a studio performance, but even if it wasn't, you just can't help but be drawn in by his actions. And you could see that he continues on with an effect that involves repetition, much like the coin underneath the salt and pepper shakers. This almost dares the participant to try to figure out how he's managing to load those cards, and yet with the subtleties and touches, they have absolutely no chance whatsoever.
Amazing.
Now, I've been hiding. Bring back your salt shaker. Please bring back the pepper shaker. Thank you so much. Now, I've been hiding a coin under the shaker over and over. And they said it wasn't fair. It wasn't fair because you've got all that salt and seasoning in the way. See, and then a voice cried out in the wilderness, and it said, Albert, can you hide it under a glass? You see, under a glass, you'd know the moment. Under a glass, you could catch me. So rivet your attention on that 50 cents, the one that's under the glass. Because they said, do you have the nerve, look, the gall and the talent? This is what makes him crazy, though. You see, that really makes him real crazy. I want a favor, Judy. Say please.
Please.
Show him. Yes. I'll be keeping on. Judy, don't look away, right over here. See if you can follow from here to here. Did you see it go? You're looking at me. Don't look at me. Yes, yeah.
Please.
Yes. No, I put it here.
Oh,
But you see, that's the giant Indian head penny. I'm shrinking. Inflation. Too large. Too late. That's called too much, you see? And then I say, please.
please.
Show him.
Now, this final crescendo unto the end of his act, it's not fucking fair. Honestly, it's not fair. But you see he's able to incorporate the use of a glass, and he incorporates the use of noise as well, which is a very powerful technique in magic. We take advantage of noise and silence in order to draw attention where we want it to. And in this case, he's obviously already managed to load the coin underneath the pepper shaker, which is going to be a nice callback later on. But the main focus here is on the coin underneath the glass. Now, with this style of magic, it's very important that, well, you perform it for actual people. You can't practice this misdirection alone in the mirror or repeat it to a camera. You have to perform it with people because you have to have a fundamental understanding of psychology. You have to have a fundamental understanding as to basic patterns that participants do. At the end of the day, we're all human. We're all prone to the same sort of direction. We're all prone to the same sort of faults. So, with that being said, you could only get that base of knowledge from performing this on actual people. And then you could understand what it is that works, what it is that doesn't work. And the unfortunate truth of the matter is that the majority of magicians won't perform something like this because of the fear of getting caught out. However, you have to get caught out. You have to, because once you do that, you realize that there are ways to go around it. There's ways to deviate from that, and there's still ways to recover. It also teaches you a valuable lesson in what works and what doesn't work. So you need to perform this in order to best learn this. You can't do this in front of a mirror. And because of that, you don't see this done as often as I think we should.
Have a little pepper, dear. Now, one coin, just checking, I just want to make sure that one coin through the, oh, sorry about that. One coin through the table, one coin through the center of the table, watch. Judy, would you like to see it go through the table now?
Yes.
You would?
Yes.
I'd like to see it myself. I wish I could do it. I can do it, but I cheat. I cheat by covering the glass over the coin and placing the covered glass over the coin quietly. He said quietly, look, without a sound, it's oh, you're looking here. Do you think I might have, say yes?
Yes.
No, I put one here, but that's not the same one. So now, no. See, I wouldn't kid you for the world. Now, I'd like your opinion. Heads or tails?
Heads.
No, you're wrong. See, it's on edge. And then I cheat. I look which way it was, and then by just pushing the glass a little bit, you see what happened? Look, see? Now, let's try it again. This time I won't cheat. This time I'll spin the coin. Do that. You hear it? We'll give the coin a spin. Now it's on edge, and I haven't looked. So do you want heads or tails?
Tails.
I scratched down it. Well, that gives us, you see tails. You see tails? Now watch carefully, and if you listen, you'll hear the coin go through the table. But let me your hand. Just tap this gently. Then you've got.
Oh. Oh my God.
Thank you so much. It's been a joy and a pleasure. Thank you, girls, for helping. Thank you for helping.
You.
Thank you.
You just know Al Goshman smashed both of them, and yet, after they were done with the coitus, after they were done with the hours of passionate lovemaking reminiscent of the hedgehog Ron Jeremy, you know that much like the coins in his hands, when she woke up, Al Goshman was gone. However, on her nightstand remained a pepper shaker, and underneath was, in fact, a coin.
I see you again, when 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 I see you again.